What's up, everybody? Benny versus the Penny is back. Week number 11 in the National Football League. It's been a belly-to-belly couple of weeks for one Ben Maller. Of course, if you are new to the show, make sure you do subscribe. You can rate, give some thumbs up, give some comments in the comment section below. Just find us on YouTube as well. Benny versus the Penny. It's all season long, weeks 1 through 18. And of course, we go into the NFL postseason, wildcard week in the divisional rounds, the AFC NFC Championship game, and of course, the big one as well. Without further ado, Ben, I did myself proud today. Not only did I set this thing up on time, by the clock, for the clock, but I basically excommunicated your entire audience as well along the way.
Yeah, well, it's great. You know, I like to start with a fresh audience of zero. And we got to do that today. But, hey, the gremlins attack. When the gremlins attack, the show must go on. And the great thing about doing a live show on YouTube is now there's people watching live, but obviously they can watch whenever, right? Between now. Now, the problem with this show is it's not evergreen. You can't really watch this show after Sunday, although some people do like to go back and look at how stupid we sound. I sound talking about the games, but we are into it. I do see several of the regulars have made their way in. Mr. Luciano, Alf the Alien Opiner, and I got off to a lousy start last night to the thanks to the Atlanta Falcons, who took it in the shorts against the New England Patriots. But the last couple of weeks have been outstanding. Chef's kiss. Been one. Well, there you see look at that, 10-4.
It's not bad. It's good. It's back-to-back weeks for you. The only trip-ups, obviously Falcons, they've been off the last 2 weeks. That Jets team that you continue to back. And then, of course, your Los Angeles Rams. Oh, that is, that's...
Gascon, you can't win them all. But lately, if you had bet a little bit of money on every game, you would have won a fair amount of money the last 2 weeks. Now, let's not look at week 5. That's a terrible week. And we'll avoid week 2. But I've had a fair share of 10-win weeks here, so it's been pretty good. I got to see the overall record, though. The key is the overall record.
I don't feel really good about it coming into to a brand new week, but yeah, weeks 9 and 10 have been sharp for you.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Look at that. 550. So now you're in the money at 550. You're not in the money with the penny. The penny is only one game over 500. So because of the VIG, my picks, a little bit of money. Little bit of money right there.
It's good. It's real good.
Yeah.
Now, do you feel confident going into this weekend? I know Thursday obviously didn't go your way. Friday didn't go the way for some people here in the United States. But will it go your way for Sunday?
Third rail, my man. The third rail, my man. What are you doing, my man? Will Sunday? Well, that's why they play the games, Gascon. We're about to find out. But I feel pretty good. I usually side to underdogs. I mean, there's some favorites I'm going to be picking for Sunday, but I'm feeling pretty good right now.
I'm not gonna lie. I was a little perplexed by the 2 games that you chose as your 5-star games of the week, but that's good. I mean, obviously, keep everyone handcuffed a little bit.
Well, there's actually 3 I picked. I picked 3. You're only naming 2. I have 3 5-star picks of the week this week.
Oh, well, have you been on those, statistically speaking? How would you say?
Well, we don't need to talk about that. But I mean, it's been better. I mean, I've been winning games lately, Gascon. I was at Dumbo earlier, and it did not go my way. But we have raised the curtain up on let the good times roll here on Benny versus the Penny.
Well, I guess there's only one way to start this with a clunker of a game, but some good
Yeah.
news for the Browns. At least Nick Chubb is returning this weekend.
That is right. There you go. Detroit at Cleveland gets a start. It's on Fox. Gus Johnson, and it was supposed to be Aqib Talib. I'm not sure what happened, but LeVar Arrington, our colleague at Fox Sports Radio, the great LeVar Arrington, is going to call the game with Gus Johnson from beautiful Cleveland. What a great debut as an NFL broadcaster. Browns and Lions for LeVar Arrington. I hope he has a lot of filler material ready to go. But yeah, it was great to see LeVar getting the opportunity there to be on the Big Fox. So the game opened up. The Browns a 10-point favorite. They were 11.5-point favorite. So it's going to be cloudy in the mid-40s at kickoff. Typical Cleveland weather at First Energy Stadium this time of the year, just across from where the Guardians play. Do you see the sign? Alf sent me a story. The sign in front of the old Cleveland Indian Stadium, they put Guardians up. It came tumbling down. There's a sign.
That's
There's a sign. Yeah. All right. Anyway, I'm going to take the Lions in this game. Now, the Browns are reeling. This is a good bounce back spot. A lot of people betting on the Browns because they had a stinker, a clunker against New England. A bunch of injuries. You mentioned Nick Chubb is back. Baker Mayfield is expected to play, but he's all messed up. You don't know if he's going to finish the game. Now, I am taking the Lions, despite being a tomato can all season. And you goof on me when I take the Lions. If you have bet on Detroit every game this season, you have won more than you've lost. They're 5-4 against the spread. So they have lived up and exceeded expectations in the gambling world this season. If you just blindly bet on Detroit every week, you would have won some money. They're 5-1 against the spread when getting at least 4 points. Now, Jared Goff is not expected to play. He's doubtful with an oblique injury, and that means the great Tim Boyle, a boil on my tuchus, will begin here at quarterback for the Lions, the former Packer backup. And this cat, I looked up some of his numbers because I remember he played a little bit for the Packers, but just in mop-up duty mostly. So this guy finished his college career. He played at Eastern Kentucky and UConn. And he had, this is amazing to me that this guy's a starting quarterback this week in the NFL. He had 12 passing touchdowns and 26 interceptions in college. And now he's going to start for Lions. Now, you can get beginner's luck, right? First-timer's luck and all that. He's only attempted 4 passes in his NFL career. Remember Mike White when he went in there and played great for a week and then a week and a half, and then he fell apart. So, but I am going to take the Lions to cover. There's too many points. Browns 24, Lions 16, the final.
Penny is going with the double-digit favorite, going with the Cleveland Browns in this one.
All right, next up, San Francisco, or as we like to call them, Santa Clara, 4-5 at Jacksonville, 2-7. It's on Fox with Chris Myers. Used to work with him at Fox Sports Radio, and Daryl Moose Johnston. And this is one of my picks of the week here. The 49ers opened a 5.5-point favorite. They skyrocketed up to 6.5. It's going to be sunny in the low 70s in Jacksonville at kickoff at TIAA Bank Field. And I am going to pick as my 4-star pick of the week. I'm taking Jacksonville plus the 6.5. I like the way Jacksonville's rounding into shape. They're a terrible record, 2-7 and all that. But in terms of the gambling market, the Jags have covered the spread back-to-back games. And over the last 6 weeks, they're 4-2 against the wise guys, against the number, against the bookmaker. The last 3 weeks, Jacksonville, number 3 in total defense. Only the Panthers and Packers have been better. But this is more a bet against Kyle Shanahan. Kyle Shanahan, 3-9 outright his last 12 games as a favorite with the Niners, 2-10 against the spread. And this year, the 49ers are 2-5 as a favorite. They've been a terrible play as a favorite. And I can give you all kinds of numbers here. Overall in Shanahan's career, he's 9-21-2 as a favorite. And when they're laying at least 6 points, the 49ers, 2-11-1. So Jacksonville, you look at all the trends. Also, Elijah Mitchell, he's got a bad finger. He is doubtful for the 49ers. And this Jacksonville game is a sandwich game for the Niners. They're coming off a big win. Everyone's kissing their ass. Guys like Gascon because of a showcase win over the Rams. And they go to the East Coast, early kickoff. Then they got to go right back to the West Coast in a bigger game to play the Vikings because the Niners fancy themselves an NFC wildcard contender, and so they have to beat out a team like the Vikings. So this is a sandwich game. I'm going to take Jacksonville. I like the Jags to win the game outright. Jacksonville 23, the Niners 20.
Penny's going with San Francisco in this one, especially off of what they did last week. That's embarrassing football.
It's a week-to-week league.
Yes,
everyone has a stinker. Tom Brady lost to the Washington Redskins or whatever they're called now, the team to be named later. So everyone has a stinker. Every team's lost in the NFL. No one's perfect. Let's see. Charlie says Urban Meyer loves round shapes. Well, a lot of guys love round shapes, and a lot of women do too. There you go. Nothing wrong with that. Calm down there. Let's see, can't read that. I guess I could read anything here. It's YouTube, right? Urban is all about the X's and the O's. Let's see here. Late Night Direct Tester says, nice to know the Rams are everyone else's showcase game. Well, no, that's how great the Rams are. You interpreted that wrong, Late Night Direct Tester. The Rams are such a glamour team. They're such a glam team that when you beat the Rams, that's like the highlight of your season. It's like, oh, we beat the Rams. We beat the, which tells you how dangerous, how lethal the Rams are, that when teams beat the Rams, this is a big deal. Tennessee Titan fans were all excited. They were celebrating. Oh, we won. Way, yeah, we won.
They were only excited because they only needed 194 yards of total offense to win that game quite easily. Like they just walked away with an easy victory in that way.
They got shut down, but these are back-to-back good losses for the Rams. I love that we're talking about the Rams, and they're not even playing this weekend. All right, moving on, Gascon. We're on the clock, by the clock, for
the clock. This is my favorite game of the weekend.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this game too. Indianapolis at Buffalo. It is on CBS with Kevin Harlan, which means he'll be screaming like a banshee, and Trent Green. Another one of my 5-star picks of the week. So the Bills open a 7-point favorite. The line, last I checked here, is still at 7, give or take. You can shop around, get the best line you can get. Mostly cloudy, temperatures in the 50s at kickoff at Highmark Stadium, formerly Ralph Wilson, formerly Pro, whatever. They've had a bunch of different names over the years. But I'm going to take the Colts in this game as my 5-star pick. Now, the argument against the Colts is that they're not battle-tested. And that does give me the heebie-jeebies a little bit here, Gascon, because they haven't beaten anyone, right? The horseshoes, this is a measuring stick game. The Colts' 5 wins this season, they have beaten teams with a combined record of 13-34. That's a .261 winning percentage. The only team in the NFL that has a weaker strength of victory is Houston, because they won one game. They beat Jacksonville. But you don't have to win the game here. You're getting 7 points, and Indianapolis lost close games to the Ravens, the Titans, and the Rams. So all we need is this to go down to the very end, a field goal game. You win the game, and just have Carson Wentz not pee in the pool here, and you'll be all right. Keep in mind, the Bills haven't really beaten anyone either. The Bills have padded their record, beating opponents entering Week 11 here with a combined 18-39 record. So that's a .316 winning percentage. There's this myth, which is not based in reality, because Buffalo beat Kansas City, that they've got this impressive resume. They lost to the Steelers and the Jags, which, as I said on the radio, and some guy called up, a Bills fan, all upset with me last night. I said, listen, that you lose to Jacksonville, it's hard to say you're a juggernaut when you lose to Jacksonville. And Buffalo's average margin of victory has been 26 points. Yeah. They haven't been in very many close games, the highest margin of victory in the NFL. Anyway, I can give you all kinds of numbers here. The Bills are a single-digit favorite for the first time since Week 6. And Indianapolis has covered each of their last 3 games as a road dog. I'm going to take that to continue here. Bills 26, Colts 23 in the final.
Penny's also taken Indy as well. Now, Indy is 1-3-1 at Buffalo against the spread in the last 5, so Numbers not on their side right now.
The a-hole Steven writes in, he says, fantasy owners, make sure to remove Stephon Diggs from your lineup because of the curse of the Bambino. So these guys are busting my balls here, Gascon, because I had the first pick in the NFL Pick'em, and I took Stephon Diggs, who's going to get like 17, 18 targets in the game. I have the greatest wide receiver combo in the history of fantasy football. I've got Devontae Adams and Stephon Diggs. These guys are going to get thrown the ball 17, 18 times. It's a wonderful combination. I'm going to get over 100 yards receiving minimum and at least one touchdown from each of those guys. And I'm a bad guy.
I mean, at least you didn't take CD Lamb this weekend, right?
No, I did. Well, it was what's his name? No, not CeeDee Lamb. What's the guy's name for the Amari Cooper? Amari Cooper's.
Oh, Amari Cooper, yeah, busted. Yeah,
you got your Cowboy receivers all.
They got like 10 of them.
Yeah. All right. Next game on the board. Miami 3-7 at the Jets 2-7. It's on CBS. This game not on a pedestal. Greg Gumbel and Adam Archuleta have the call. Now the Dolphins opened a 2.5-point favorite. They're a 3-point road favorite. Mostly cloudy, 50 degrees at MetLife Stadium in the swamplands of Jersey. And I am going to take the Miami Dolphins. Now, I don't love this game, and it's not one of my locks, but we pick every game here. The main reason I am taking Miami, Gascon, is to bet against the Jets defense, which is historically bad. New York has given up almost 1,900 yards the past 4 games, the most allowed by that franchise ever in that span of games. And the points they've given up, 175 points, the most allowed by any team since the 1970 merger. So it's hard to think that they're going to fix all that in just a week. Good luck on that. You also had the coach of the Jets getting into a he said situation with former coach Rex Ryan. Little other funny business going on. Now, Joe Flacco takes over here. And that actually is an advantage for the Jets because I think Joe Flacco will do pretty well against Miami and their defense. That being said, the Dolphins, they've got something going here a little bit. Over the last 4 games, the Dolphins are a league best on third down offense. They've been converting, and the Jets are 1-4 as a single-digit underdog this season, 1-6 against the spread as an underdog of 10 or fewer. This is going to be an ugly game. Dolphins 20 and the Jets 16. I'm riding the 2.
Penny's also going with Miami. Dolphins for the win.
Yeah. All right. Neil says, I'm late to the game here, but did David just get out of the sauna or something? That's your buddy Neil. That's your buddy Neil in Miami who's from the Ukraine.
I got to ask Neil for some real estate questions after the show's over.
You should ask him, yeah. Gascon's about to make the plunge into real estate here. Don't talk to Tom Looney, please. Whatever you do, don't talk to Tom Looney.
He'll be underwater.
No, I've given you, Gascon, I've given you advice. Have I not given you good advice on real estate? Have I?
Yeah.
Can I say the advice I've given you?
Yeah, don't buy a condo or townhome. Yeah.
Nothing with an HOA. Because my theory is it's double jeopardy.
Yeah.
And this is something I didn't know when I was I had HOAs earlier in my life, but because you're paying property taxes, which the property taxes in theory pay for the garbage and the plumbing into your house, right? Whatever it might be. Yeah. So when you're paying an HOA, you're paying double.
Yeah.
And I don't like paying double on anything. And that HOA never goes away, and it only goes up. Yeah. And it's all the people that have time to be on an HOA board don't have jobs and don't have lives, right? Because if you have a job and a life, you can't dedicate your time for those HOA meetings.
Yeah, they're usually retired. They want things just given to them. They just want to collect. And typically you're paying for what? A gym, a fake gym, maybe a pool, maybe a jacuzzi, gardeners, like you said. What a security, if there is any kind of armed security or anything like that.
When I lived in Lincoln Heights in LA at the building, it was not the greatest neighborhood. Still isn't a great neighborhood. And so most of the HOA costs were for graffiti removal. And And I remember thinking at the time when I lived there, I was like, I'm spending all this money to have graffiti removed, which is just giving the graffiti artist a new blank canvas
That's right.
to work with. I mean, it's like, what are we doing here? It's like, I mean, it was so funny because I remember I would leave the building and the guy would be cleaning up the graffiti, right? And it would be almost done. And I'd go to like Staples Center or something like that, or whatever it's called, Crypto Arena, and then I'd get back and it would already be tagged again with something else. I'm like, what are we doing? You know, I mean, we were just throwing money away. Anyway, all right, moving on here, Gascon. Next game, another 5-star pick of the week.
Neil says he pays $1,000 for HOA. Neil, that's what they call extortion, my friend.
Well, Neil's a baller, man. That guy, have you seen?
That doesn't matter. Even if he does make a ton of money, it still can't be pissing away $1,000 a month.
No, I agree, but he's got that showcase penthouse apartment in Miami, looking over the skyline. He's got the Heat Arena right below him. That is out of a travel brochure. Neil, when you're out of town, Neil, can I stay at your place? Wow. I won't eat any of your food. I'll just man, that is beautiful. But $1,000, that's $12,000 a year just on that.
Oh, fuck,
man,
that's rape.
What do you get for that? Do you get any extra bonuses? Do they give you your private elevator or something like that? Man.
Yeah, you need like towel service. You need a water handed to you. You do need like private parking. Maybe a valet. Does it get valet at least?
That's a luxury building. It might get valet. All right, next up, Washington. Team to be named later. 3-6 at Carolina, 5-5. It's on Fox. 5-star pick of the week. My last 5-star pick of the week. Kevin Kugler and Mark Sanchez have the call. The Panthers opened up a 3.5-point home favorite. And sunny in the 50s in Charlotte at Bank of America Stadium. Now, Gascon, I am taking the Washington team to be named later as my pick here, and it's mostly a bet against Cam Newton. He is really back, but does he have the magic formula? Everyone's all giddy and excited because Cam was a limited participant last week and did pretty well in goal line situations. But he's going against Ron Rivera, who knows all of the weak spots of Cam Newton's game. Cam's been a garbage quarterback in recent years when he's played. The longer he's played, the worse he has gotten. And that's been the book on Cam Newton. Since 2018, Cam Newton is 8-9 straight up, but 6-11 against the gambling market. So if you bet against Cam Newton, you're 11-6 against the spread as a favorite since 2018. So, and he is favored by over a field goal in this game. In theory, this would be a letdown spot for Washington coming off their showcase signature win against Tom Brady and the Buccaneers. But I am not going to bet on Cam Newton laying over a field goal. And Carolina's also got a big win. They're coming off of that game against the Cardinals last week. Taylor Heineke playing with gumption. Did you see that last drive Washington had against the Bucs? That, it was insane. They took off pretty much an entire quarter of the game. They wiped off the clock. And I am going to ride the sharps who are betting on Washington and fade the average gambler, what they call a square. So I'm going to ride with the sharps. Washington 23 and Carolina 20, the final.
Penny's actually taking the defense of the Carolina Panthers in this one. So it's going with the home team. It's tough. That is tough.
What was that sigh there? What was the sigh there? What are you doing?
Like you said, the quarterback situation in Carolina is dreadful. It doesn't matter who's at quarterback right now. Darnold blew up, and Cam Newton hasn't been good since 2015. So I was also laughing at the fact that Steve was thanking us for the live feed, and he was saying "Go Boomer Sooner." I don't know if he's going to be too happy on Saturday when Breece Hall runs up and down the Oklahoma defense. So.
Are you calling your shot, Gascon? Are you calling your shot? I thought the way people have talked about Oklahoma, I was like, well, they must have a terrible record this year. They only lost one game.
Yeah, but their quarterback play has just been atrocious.
I know, but they still, your results. You think we live in LA? You think USC would take one loss with terrible quarterback play?
Yeah, of course they would.
Exactly.
Football situation out here is a little bit different. I don't know if you remember hearing Trey Aikman last night talking about how he hopes USC can at least keep it competitive over the weekend.
Yeah. Well, I love Aikman, but he's a bit of a house man. Remember when Josh Rosen threw the interception and he immediately made it. He said, "I'm not making an excuse," and then he made an excuse for Josh Rosen. With that offensive lineman, that guy messed up. Yeah. Okay. Jerry sink full of ash or odd duty dishes. What is that name? What does that mean? Sink full dishes. Oh, I got you. All right. If I could read, that would help. He says, Ben still bets against Cam even after he wins. Just Josh pointing out the emoji use is down 55% without Roscoe the Parrot squeaking his beak this week. Yeah, what happened to Roscoe? Where's my guy Roscoe?
Maybe it was because of the bad link. The one that we initially had set up just blew up when we went live. So that could be the case, and he doesn't have the new one.
Yeah, if you're new to the Benny versus the Penny, because we're on a little later, so there's some new people. Thumbs up. Thumbs up. That's
Are you gonna at least tell people while we're doing this thing later in the day, or should I tell them?
Well, you can tell them if you want.
Well, the true story is that Ben is building an extra floor on his house. He had construction there today. I saw the room. I saw the bathroom. It is a brand new floor, so it goes not from one, not from two, but from three floors up. So yeah,
liar.
It's nice. I'm
no, so I at the house I'm in here, the Maller Mansion, there's a staircase, and that this is an older house. I didn't realize it was an older house. I didn't realize that you can't combine lumber, and it was the whole construction's been going on. If I've sounded a little funky, it's because the last couple of days, when I go to bed to the sound of saws, and it's not a great way to sleep. So they've been doing construction during the day. I've yet to find a contractor. I know just Josh does some contracting, I believe. I need a contractor that will work overnight is what I need. That's what I need. I need someone that is willing to do construction in the middle of the night. That would be perfect for my schedule.
Sounds like a Hollywood set. That's what you need. You need someone that doing the lighting for you at night, obviously doing the wood chipping, the sawing. That's like a Hollywood production for you. That's very glamorous.
Well, I had forgotten we've been living in a construction zone, but there hadn't been a lot of work done the last couple of weeks, so I thought we were past it, and then I realized we're not past it. There's a lot more to do. So it's unfortunate. Alf, the alien opiner, says Roscoe was headed to Mississippi last week. He says he's probably drunk, Mr. Luciano points out. Alf, the alien opiner, says the audio was Sports with Coleman was great today. Oh, thanks. Yeah, we played on the fifth hour. We played one of the great rants, although it was not actually broadcast, the Earl Weaver.
Oh,
Manager's Corner. What was it called? Manager's Corner with Earl Weaver.
Yeah,
outstanding, just great. All right, moving on. Speaking of Baltimore, the Ravens 6-3 at Chicago 3-6. It's on CBS with Jim Nantz and Tony Romo. The Ravens opened a 6-point favorite. They're favored by 5.5. Cloudy in the 40s at Soldier Field in Chicago, and I am taking the BEARS, the Bears. They will not hibernate. Taking Chicago. Rested and ready coming off the bye week. The Ravens, they also had a mini bye. They played, if you want to say what they did playing, they showed up against the Dolphins barely last Thursday. Now, Lamar Jackson has been ill again. My guy, Sports with Coleman, informing me that the Baltimore media believe he's actually injured. They're calling it an illness, but he is injured, and they're not saying exactly what it is. They're hiding it. They're going rogue. He has not played well recently, and it's one of these things, because he won an MVP. When I say this, I say how ugly he's been recently. People say, you're just a hater. You're ripping on him. You're a slime ball. No, I'm not. I'm giving you the facts. I'm just the facts, ma'am. Just the facts, as they said in Dragnet. Last 4 weeks, Lamar Jackson is the 30th ranked quarterback in the NFL. Where I come from, that ain't good. Also, Latavius Murray's got a bad ankle. Marquise Hollywood Brown has a thigh. They are listed, thigh injury. They're listed as a questionable for this game. Baltimore, last 7 games against the spread as a favorite. 1-6 against the spread as a favorite. They're 0-3 this season as a road favorite. And John Harbaugh, 0-3 against the spread against teams that have a losing record. So Baltimore has actually played down to the competition. Now, I don't love the Bears at all, but they have played better defense. They're 5th in the NFL defensively. Chicago did lose Khalil Mack for the season, but he hasn't played recently. And this Justin Fields guy, I'm not all in on him. He did look great in the second half against Pittsburgh, though. He was throwing darts all over the place. Something clicked in there against the Steelers, and he just needs to not turn the ball over in this game. Bad weather. Lamar's not playing well. These are not your daddy's Ravens. Baltimore is 32nd, dead last in passing defense. They've been brutal here. I'm going to take the Ravens 24 and the Bears 20, which means Chicago.
Penny's going with the Baltimore Ravens in this one. Rise and shine, Lamar Jackson.
All right, next up, New Orleans 5-4 at Philadelphia 4-6. It's on Fox. Adam Amin and Mark Schlereth have the call. Eagles. This game opened a pick 'em. Eagles are a 2-point home favorite at the Link. Mostly cloudy, 54 degrees in the house that Tony Bruno owns. The Saints are my pick here. I am not sold on Philly. The Birds have been pretty good on the road. They've been terrible at home. They're 4-2 on the road this season, 0-4 at home. They're getting a lot of love, a lot of sugar from the public this week because they beat an injury-ravaged Bronco team last week. Philadelphia, as a home favorite since 2018, is 4-12. Now, I know that was different coach, different players a couple years ago, but that trend has continued here. They have the 3rd worst cover percentage in the NFL since 2018. New Orleans, 4-0 against the spread, 3-1 outright as a dog this season, and they're 9-1 against the spread their last 10 games as an underdog going back to the Drew Brees era. They are going to be out, New Orleans. Alvin Kamara is hanging out back in the bayou. He's not playing. He's got a bad knee, and that means Mark Ingram will get the majority of work in the backfield. So they're going with Ingram, the all-time leading rusher for the Saints. And the Eagles, they recently have been running the ball redonkulously well. Heavy running offense. The last 3 weeks, the Birds are number one. They're number one in rushing with 209 yards per game. And now they play the Saints, a team that ranks number one in the NFL with 72.9 yards rushing allowed per game. So I'm going to bet on the Saints defense. I'm also going to take Trevor Siemian to not turn the ball over. Saints win this game outright. New Orleans 19, Philly 17 to 5.
Penny's also going with the Saints. How about this? The Saints are 4-0 against the spread after a straight-up loss. Pretty good.
Is that right?
Sean Payton. Hey, by the way, that couch and that reclining chair, that microphone with your shot with the Library of Congress behind you, it fits you, man. Now all you need is like some scotch and a cigar. You're straight.
Yeah, this is a new chair.
Oh, that's nice.
Yeah, it's a new chair. In the 5th Hour podcast on Saturday, I will break down the chair. Because I'm out of content, so I'm going to break down the chair. But no, there's a story. There's a backstory to the chair.
Okay.
Yeah, it was a big drama at the Maller house here, the Maller mansion. There was a bit of drama with.
Does that mean that there was a trade involved? Like you got the chair if someone else in the family got a chandelier?
Well, no, that I lost that battle. We have the chandelier. If you know anybody that can build the chandelier, I had no idea. You need to have like a master's degree to build I'm too dumb to build a chandelier, and it's too expensive. I would try it, Gascon, but I got butterfingers. I don't have a carpenter's skill in my body. I wish I did. And I looked at the instructions, and I looked at all the pieces of the chandelier, and that's a whole racket. You should, if you have kids, you should teach your kids to make chandeliers. These people get paid like $600, $700, $800, $900 to build a chandelier.
That's a great idea. So what you do is you videotape your kids putting together a chandelier and you put it on YouTube and then you monetize it. Like the kids in Asia that are unwrapping presents and they're making hundreds of thousands of dollars. You do that with a kid out here.
What do you do? The highest paid person on YouTube was a kid, right? A child
Yeah.
opening presents a couple years ago.
Yeah.
How the parents have to keep having babies so they always can, because you age out of that, right? Once
That's
you're no longer the cute kid, you're the annoying punk teenager nobody cares about, right? So you
And
have
then,
to.
and then you end up producing your show.
Yeah. All right. Matt, how dare you? Matt, I heard that. Matt, the Warrior Raider Ace fan, says he's taking the Eagles -2.
Good luck.
Steve says he wants a Maller monologue on the chair. You're going to get a mini Maller monologue on the chair. I think this chair does make me look more regal.
It does. It does.
Right? I look
It
more
does.
regal, and yeah. I like the books are behind me there.
You're very polished in this picture. Yes, you're good.
All right, there you go. Very professional. Is that network quality, Gascon? You think this is network quality right here?
I don't know. The hat looks like you got a little bit of bias.
No, I represent all the NFL teams.
One could say that you're representing Goodell. That's what some could assume.
No. That's why I don't wear. I have a bunch of other hats here I could wear. I've like a whole stack over on this side of hats.
It's good. It's good.
Most of them are Dodger hats, and that's usually how that works. Now I noticed we had some Gremlins attack here, Gascon. So the clock did not reset. So I think we have is that a hard network out? Is that what we're looking at?
Might be on the horse.
All right, we got to hurry up here. Houston 1-8 at Tennessee 8-2. It's on CBS with Andrew Catalan and James Lofton. Titans a 10.5-point favorite. They opened at 10. Cloudy and 59 degrees at Nissan Stadium, the house that Clay Travis goes to every week because he's got season tickets. I am going to take the Texans in this game. This is a letdown spot for the Titans after running the gauntlet of a schedule. They can now exhale, put their feet up, and still win the game. Tennessee is just 2-5 against the spread as a home favorite of more than a touchdown over recent years. Houston has failed to cover, though, each of their last 4 games. I just can't lay more than a touchdown. Anytime you get over 7 points, I've followed this model my entire life. Anytime you get over 7 points in a divisional game, you don't look at the numbers, you don't look at the records, you take the points, you be happy. So I will take the Houston Texans to cover. Titans 27, Texans 17, and that means Houston will win the game.
Penny is going with Houston as well, going with the road team in this affair. Now, Late Night Drug Tester brought up a good point. He says you need a smoking jacket, a pipe, and a glass of brandy. I guess the question, though, is what do you have for dessert? Someone as distinguished as you right now, like what kind of dessert goes, like does it go apple pie? Does it go custard? Does it go...
This is a chair that is more, I think it's more custard than apple pie. But, I'm a banana cream pie guy.
Oh, that's good.
Alf, the alien opponent, says he heard a guy yesterday on with Mad Dog that claimed he bet Bryce Harper for the MVP in early August at plus 3,000. Yeah, there's a random fun fact. This does not guarantee Bryce Harper's going to the Hall of Fame. I've read that story multiple times. Let's knock that off right now. Anyway, this is plausibly a football podcast. I see some new people are watching the live feed. So if you're watching us live or if you're watching us on demand on the YouTube, thumbs up. This is free. This is an act of public service, Gascon, right? This is,
it's our Thanksgiving giveaway.
Yeah, of course, we're trying to move this to television down the line, but for now we're doing it for free. Anyway,
which is weird because everything's being moved from television onto like digital platforms, and then in turn we're getting paid peanuts for doing the same work.
Yeah, well, I'm fine with doing this digitally if there's a big fat check with it
and a fat chair.
I will read any commercial you want. Give me the copy. I'm a trained SEAL. I will do it. All right, next up, Green Bay 8-2 at Minnesota 4-5. It's on Fox with Kevin Burkhardt and Greg Olson. They have the call. Packers a 1.5-point favorite. They opened at 2. 37 degrees at kickoff at US Bank Stadium, but it's a dome in the Twin Cities, so they don't have to worry about that. I'm going to take the Vikings in this game. The squares are all over. The amateur bettor all over the Packers this week. They are a public darling. And I get it, Green Bay, they lost the first game. They're 9-1, though. Longest cover streak, 9 straight. the Packers have had in the Super Bowl era and tied for the third longest single season against the spread winning streak in the Super Bowl era. Aaron Rodgers, I just read a few minutes ago, he's going to play. He's got a bad toe, but he's going to play. The Packers, though, lost running back Aaron Jones to an MCL injury, so A.J. Dillon slides up. And the injury report, 14 players for Green Bay on the injury report, including their safety, Darnell Savage. Receiver Marquez Valdez-Scantling is also on that report. Wide receiver Alan Lazard has got a shoulder injury. He's doubtful. They are the walking wounded. The Vikings play every game close. They're a slight underdog here. Kirk Cousins has 18 touchdowns and 2 interceptions this season. But the main reason I like Minnesota is that Packer run defense, which is starting to lose people right and left and has become a little ineffective lately. I will take Dalvin Cook, who somehow has avoided any kind of punishment, and I will take the Vikings 24, Packers 21.
Penny's also going with the Vikings in this one. If someone told you before the season started that Kirk Cousins would have a 9-1 touchdown to interception ratio, you'd say their record is what?
At least above 500. At least above 500. Yeah, this is the greatest season ever for a quarterback that has a losing record.
Awful.
After 10 weeks or whatever it's been now. I read that stat. Like, there's no comp for this. There's no comparison to the numbers that Cousins is putting up. And the problem, the Vikings, they didn't have this against the Chargers last week, but they played very well building up leads or playing well in the first half. And then as the game goes on, they kind of fade.
That game against Baltimore a couple weeks ago, right?
Yeah, that's kind of been their MO here. So we'll see what happens in this game. Late television window. And Cincinnati. Boy, we have so many great fans, P1s of the show in Cincinnati. I got to get there. I got to hang out in Cincinnati. Eat some, what's the local, that Skyline chili that Andy Furman always talks about? I don't really like chili that much, though. Is there anything else that Cincinnati's known for that I do like?
No, get the chili. It's like going to the bayou and not getting catfish. What's wrong with you?
I don't like beans. They give me gas. Anyway, Cincinnati, I like a beef chili. I like beef chili. Cincinnati 5-4 at Vegas 5-4. It's on CBS. Ian Eagle and Charles Davis have the call. The Bengals opened up a pick'em. It's a 1-point favorite now for Cincinnati on the road. Sunny and 70 degrees at kickoff at Allegiant Stadium in Vegas. And I am taking the Bengals. Now, I am on the side of the public, which scares me. The public likes Cincinnati a lot. They have skidded into a ditch. They lost to the Jets and the Browns back-to-back, belly-to-belly, and their defense has given up 75 points to Mike White and Baker Mayfield the last couple of games, and now they go against the Raiders. Joe Burrow also an interception in 5 straight games, longest active streak in the NFL. But this is more a play against Derek Carr. As you saw, Gascon, the Kansas City game, some of the Chiefs defenders pointing out that he was scared. Carr has that reputation of being a scaredy cat. It's happened twice this season, and he's following the trend of the scouting report. Inadequate as the season wears on. Derek Carr, his passer rating in his career, 1 through 8, weeks 1 through 8, 98.5, close to 100. His passer rating from week 9 to 17 is 86. So he goes way down in production. And my advice to the Bengals here is also score first. The Raiders are 32-29 when Derek Carr has a lead when they score first. When the Raiders don't score first in the Derek Carr era, they're 20-40. In craziness there. I think Cincinnati will win this game. Bounce back game for the Bengals. Cincinnati 27, Vegas 23. The final.
Penny also going with the Bengals in this one, and all-pro wide receiver Jamar Chase.
Late night drug tester says Cincinnati is famous for its southern cuisine. Well, yeah, Cincinnati is in the South. People got very upset when I pointed that out, but they're a border town with Kentucky, right? A lot of people that work in Cincinnati live in Kentucky. I think of Kentucky as the South, so I think of Cincinnati as the South. Yeah, it's a fun fact. Don't look at me like that.
Interesting. Yeah.
Just Josh says, "Who day? Grater's ice cream, Montgomery in ribs. I'll do the ribs.
Ribs good. Yeah.
Skyline chili, barbecue grippos. What is that? I don't know what that is.
So they have a brisket out there.
Yeah, good barbecue brisket's the way to go.
Yeah.
Matt says Northern Kentucky. That Cincinnati is Northern Kentucky.
What is their drink of choice though in Ohio? Like, is it liquor? Is it beer? Definitely.
I think it depends. It depends. Northern Ohio versus Southern Ohio.
Okay, so Southern's probably like what, a bourbon?
Well, yeah, I would think right close to Kentucky bourbon. So yeah. Jonathan in Delaware is checking. It looks like so. Jonathan has checked in. I see your buddy Lee in the Valley of the Sun here. He says, "I'm here for Ben's picks on our Arizona Cardinals."
He spelled I right. I'm very impressed.
Wow, you are such a douche. What a douche. This guy's a great fan of the show. He showed up. Years ago, Lee showed up to a Cardinals game and had a Maller theme sign at the game. It was awesome. Now, if he does that, he'll get beat up. But back then, it was okay.
Yeah, you'll probably get beat up by reporters, though, out there.
Yeah. The media is in the tank for the hometown team. Alf, the alien opiner, says hookers and cocaine and moonshine.
That's good.
And actually, moonshine was from our buddy in the Bay. All right, next up, let's get to the what's next? We have Arizona, Seattle. Yes, I think that is the next game.
Yeah.
Arizona 8-2 at Seattle 3-6. It's on Fox. Kenny Albert and Jonathan Vilma have the call. Now, I was on Baltimore radio yesterday. I made a rare and appropriate appearance with my guy Sports with Coleman, who's on today's edition of the Fifth Hour. But he texted me that Kenny Albert was listening. Kenny was locked up in his hotel room in Seattle all week. I guess he had called a hockey game there.
Yeah, correct.
And he just decided to stay because why fly back? He lives in New Jersey or New York, whatever. So why fly back to New York and then have to fly right back to Seattle? So he just stayed in Seattle, but I guess he was bored because he was listening to my buddy's radio show, Sports with Coleman, who's his friend. And so he was listening, and he said my audio sounded bad, and I got very upset by that, and I was offended that Kenny did not think I sounded good on the show. The quality of the audio was not good. Anyway, the Cardinals, a 2.5-point road favorite. They opened a 2-point favorite at Lumen Field in Seattle. Cloudy and 46 degrees at kickoff in this game. And I am going to take the Seabirds in this game. Give me Seattle. Here's why. Now, Kyler Murray, he's got an ankle injury. Fortunately, it's a small injury. He may return this weekend. He is listed as a game-time decision. We know DeAndre Hopkins with his bad hammy. That's put the whammy on him. He is out yet again, the wide receiver. The bye week is coming up, so I anticipate that Kyler Murray will not play, that alligator arms will be on the shelf yet again, his fragile body not being able to handle the rigors of the National Football League. And yet again, for the Cardinals, they showed up as frauds. And I was waiting for that text from west of the 405 when Arizona took it in the shorts against P.J. Walker and the Carolina Panthers. Somehow I didn't get that. I did get some messages when the Rams urinated down their leg. I got some messages from you then, but nothing. I don't know what. Maybe your phone was broken on Sunday. Was that it? Is it possible?
It was a throwaway game. Obviously, Kyler Murray didn't play. They allowed Carolina to do what they wanted, and the Rams didn't pee on their own leg. They got pissed on. By a national audience. It was embarrassing. It was like kind of the worst football I've seen in quite some time. Outside the game that Arizona won at SoFi Stadium earlier in the year.
All right, next up. I haven't picked the game.
But you picked the damn game.
All right, hold on. No, I was getting excited. I was ready to move on. Russell Wilson, 24-12-2 as an underdog in his career. Seattle at home under Pete Carroll. They have done very well. They're 8 games above 500 historically against the spread as a home dog. And from the injury report here, I'm giving a lean to Seattle. these games between these two teams have usually been pretty close. I think this one will be 2. Seattle 32, Arizona.
Penny also going Seattle in this one. No Chris Carson, done for the year. Alex Collins is the lead back in the Pacific Northwest.
That's not much of a difference there. Next up, Dallas 7-2 at Kansas City. And it is on Fox with Joe Buck and Troy Aikman.
Don't you feel like this will be like a letdown? This is supposed to be like a 70-point game, and it'll probably be like 24-20 or some shit.
Yeah. Now, Kansas City is a 2.5-point favorite in this game. When you have high expectations, usually you don't get what you're anticipating. Yeah. Temperature in the 50s at Arrowhead Stadium. It's got some corporate name. My guy in Kansas City tells me the plan. I was reading a story about the Chiefs Stadium and what's going to happen with that. And the plan is the Royals are going to move to downtown Kansas City.
Really?
And that's the plan among the locals. They're going to build a downtown stadium for the Royals. And then where the Royals Stadium is, they're going to implode that and build the new Arrowhead Stadium.
Oh, okay. Now, have you been to Kauffman?
I have, yes. I was there a few years ago. Yeah, it's a really cool complex. And just down the street, it reminds me of you've been to Philadelphia, right? Where they have all the stadiums all in the same complex. Kansas City, same thing. You got one side's Arrowhead, and across the street or across the parking lot is the Royal Stadium. It's pretty neat. It's out in the outside the city, but it's not far away from where you can get the Ben Maller chicken fingers. So
I like how you just casually put that in there. Just casually push that in.
When they have the Gascon weenies, the little mini hot dogs, we can promote those also.
I don't know what your fixation is on weenies right now, but let's push forward.
All right, I'm taking the Chiefs in this game. Amari Cooper is out. He's got the COVID. He's going to miss this game. I read he's going to miss Thanksgiving next week as well. I don't trust the Cowboys to go into Arrowhead and keep the good times rolling. Dallas is 8-1 against the spread this year. I am going to put my neck out on Patty Mahomes to have back-to-back solid games. Mahomes has never been less than a 3-point favorite in a home game in his career. This is uncharted territory here. The Chiefs are 0-5 against the spread at home. Their defense, well, I think of the Chiefs' defense as terrible. They've actually played better here. I think this game will be a track meet. I am taking the Chiefs 36, Cowboys 30.
Penny also going Kansas City in this one. Going with the Chiefs.
All right, next up, Sunday Night Football. Pittsburgh 5-3-1 at the LA Chargers 5-4. It's on NBC with Al Michaels and Chris Collinsworth. The Chargers opened up a 3-point favorite. They're all the way up to 6.5. Clear skies and 66 degrees at SoFi Stadium, which is not a dome, which is very odd to me, Gascon. I've been there multiple times. I've seen a roof, but it's not a dome. It's classified as an open-air stadium.
Hey, I was there. I forget what week it was. I think it was like week 4. Indoor stadium. Hour delay due to lightning on Monday Night Football.
Oh, the Monday night game. Yeah. So I'm going to take the Steelers in this game. I love me some Mike Tomlin as a dog. The dogs are barking. Seattle is 15 and what did I say? Seattle. Pittsburgh's 11-5 against the spread as a road underdog. And we're not sure whether Roethlisberger is going to play. It sounds like he is going to be able to play, but Mason Rudolph will be the quarterback. If not, the Steelers better win this game. They have the toughest remaining schedule in the NFL. But the problem is last week, because of the tie, they lost any direct tiebreaker.
Yep.
So they're screwed in that. Pittsburgh will be without TJ Watt. He's got a bad knee, a hip injury. He's not going to play in this game. The Chargers have not been very good as a home favorite. And Justin Herbert, 1-3 against the spread as a home favorite of at least 4 points in his career. And the Chargers have dropped 3 of their last 4. And now they have to find a way to get that mojo back that they have lost after those big wins a few weeks back. So I will take the running game of Pittsburgh, Najee Harris, to run wild against the Chargers, who are last in the NFL in run defense. Give me the Steelers to win the game. Steelers 24, Chargers 23.
Penny's going with the Bolts in this one. Going with the LA Chargers.
Matt, the Warrior Raiders fan, says in the chat, he says, take the Steelers. The Chargers will urinate down their legs on Sunday Night Football. Late night drug tester pointing out this is the Garcia Civil War. That is correct. Eddie will not be on TV because he'll be one of the 50,000 Steeler fans at the game. I learned what happened, why Eddie gets on TV so much. So that the Chargers have this big fan club section where like the hardcore hardo Charger fans sit.
Yeah.
Right to the field. And so when television wants to get a reaction shot from a Charger fan, they don't look anywhere else in the stadium. The producers, the directors, like, go to that section because that's the section where all the diehard Charger fans are, when you can go anywhere in the stadium to find an opposition fan.
Yeah.
So it's by process of elimination. If you sit in that section, your chances of getting on television go way up. Way up they go.
I wonder what the split's going to be for that game. Fans in attendance, Bolts versus the Steelers.
I'm going to go 70-30.
Oh wow, that's like Raider territory.
There's a lot of Steeler fans. There's a lot, even here in the LA area. And the Steelers, these teams, as you saw when you went. Well, yeah, they have West Coast fan bases. Like when Tampa Bay. If the Buccaneers have a West Coast fan group, wherever the Bucs play on the West Coast, these people show up. Then you know the Steelers have the same thing.
It's true.
Yeah. Anyway, if you're new in watching the YouTube, thumbs up, not thumbs down, thumbs up. And on the podcast that I do, 5 stars on the podcast, the 5th Hour podcast. All right, last game. Here we go. Monday Night Football. The New York Giants, 3-6. Tampa Bay, 6-3. It's on ESPN with Steve Levy, Brian Greasy, and Louis Riddick. And the Buccaneers opened a 12-point favorite. They are favored by 11.5. Mostly clear, 70 degrees at Raymond James Stadium in Tampa. I am taking the Giants in this game, plus the double digits. Tom Brady has been very good at home. This is a home game, not good on the road. He's been the boss at home, and he's looking for a bounce-back performance. I saw an amazing stat that I learned this from Sports Talk Barry. Remember our buddy Sports Talk Barry we had on the podcast? I love this guy. He does satire on Twitter, and he's wonderful. He's like a one-man Babylon Bee, this Sports Talk Barry. But he every once in a while he actually talks sports. Legitimate sports, and he sent some numbers out, and I went and looked them up and confirmed them. So Tom Brady has been night and day, in the splits and all that, but he has been he's been the luckiest quarterback this year. Over 40% of Tom Brady's touchdown drives have started in the opponent's territory. That is an insane amount.
Yeah.
Josh Allen, for comparison's sake, Josh Allen is like below 10%. And Tom Brady is over 40% of Tampa's touchdown drives with him at quarterback have started past the 50-yard line in enemy territory. The Buccaneers are 6-3, but they're 3-6 against the spread. And if you look at the comps on this, the Giants have been a great dog team. They are 19-5 against the spread as a road dog the past 4 seasons. And you look at Daniel Jones, who doesn't win a lot, but 12-5 against the spread as a road underdog in his career. So this game will be closer than you expect. Buccaneers 30 and the Giants 26.
Penny's going with Tampa in this one. Giants, though, 5-0-1 against the spread in their last 6 in Tampa Bay. How about that?
Yeah, that probably goes back to the 1970s, though. So who cares about that? That's
Man, I don't know. You got the orange Sherbert uniforms back in the day, so you can't diss those times.
No, that's the creamsicle uniform.
Yeah.
I love that uniform.
They're good.
That is one hat I do not have in my collection. I like the orange hat with the swashbuckling pirate logo, the old school So Ugly It's Good, which was ripped off from Robin Hood. I love that the NFL just took a movie, an old movie, and they came up with the logo and put it on the side of the helmet. It's outstanding.
Those were like the reverse of glory days. It was anything but with the Tampa Bay Bucks, right? Well, the Steve Walsh was a quarterback then for them back in the day.
I'm going even older than I'm going even
Steve
before
Young.
that.
Oh, yeah,
They were brutal, horrific,
Yeah.
and some of the funniest documentaries were when the Buccaneers were an expansion team, and the old USC coach was coaching them, and he had all these quips and all that. George McKay,
Yeah.
or Rich McKay. Was it Rich McKay? No, George. Rich is the kid. Is it Rich is the kid, right? But he had all these zingers about
What do you think about the execution of your team?
Yeah, the execution. It was outstanding. He said we don't play well at home. We don't play well on the road. So he's hoping for neutral site games or something like that. It was hilarious back in the day. Anyway, look at the clock's running out here, Gascon. We better say goodbye, right?
Ta-ta for now, then.
Yeah. Listen to the podcast. See you later. Bye-bye.